Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create an evergreen newsletter sequence in Flodesk. In last week's tutorial, I showed you how to do it in Kit, formerly ConvertKit, and this week I'll show you how to do it in Flodesk. So let's get into it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a workflow. And we're going to be using the same sequence or the same example that I did in the Kit tutorial. So let me pull up my doc. And while that's going, I'm going to click on New Workflow, and then I'm going to click on Start from Scratch, and I'm going to name this Evergreen Newsletter. I'm going to click Save. Now, if you're new and you don't know what an evergreen newsletter is, it's basically a newsletter that's going out for something like 6 months to a year. That basically makes sure that you are staying in touch with your subscribers even if you don't have the time to send regular weekly newsletters. So the idea is that you will pre-write a set amount of emails, however much you can handle in one writing session or creation session. Whether that's 3 months, 6 months, a year, and then you are going to load them up in Flodesk, set it up once, and then once somebody joins your email list, whether that's through a form that invites them to download a freebie or to get a discount code or to maybe sign up for a webinar or something like that, you can add them to this evergreen sequence, and that way they are hearing from you and you are staying top of mind and in their inbox. You're showing up regularly and building that know, like, and trust factor, even if you are busy with client projects or life is lifing or something like that. But basically, this ensures that you create content in advance once, and then it's working for you behind the scenes to nurture your subscribers. It sort of gets you off the content creation hamster wheel for a while by having you batch content in advance, and then it's just running in the background. Now, what we're going to do is, for the trigger, I'm going to choose when somebody is added to a segment, and I'm going to create a segment called Evergreen Newsletter. Awesome. And then we are going to add an email. And now you can choose either an existing email in your Flodesk account, or you can create a new email. For the purposes of this tutorial and to keep things simple, I'm going to duplicate an email and I'm going to select one of my templates. So I'm going to select this email, and then I'm going to click, first I'm going to add the subject line like that, and then I'm going to click Edit here on the side to edit the email. And I'm going to paste the contents of the email first. I'm going to just make sure that the formatting is correct and doesn't look off, and just fix that a little bit. And then I'm going to make sure that the link for my call to action is going to where I want them to go. You can also delete or not insert call to action in all of the emails, depending on how you built the sequence and what the purpose of the sequence is. So if the purpose of the sequence is just to drive people to your website, to a specific product, or maybe a blog, maybe you have a backlog of blog posts that you've never really promoted and you want your newsletter subscribers to get to that content, maybe you want to point them to a blog. If you want that sequence to maybe subtly sell your product every week, you can point them to that product. If you want them to book a discovery call with you, the link could be to your portfolio or to book a discovery call with you. It depends on what the purpose of your sequence is, but I'm just going to say click here to browse templates because that's the purpose of my sequence, to promote my templates on a regular basis. But like I said, if you just want to stay top of mind, you can also eliminate the more obvious call to action like this and maybe just have something like a this week's featured resource or a way that points to your services or something like that. There's loads of ways to do this. And if you use my link to sign up for Flodesk, or if you already have a Flodesk account, if you click the link in the description of this video, you can get this template for free so that you have a starting point for your welcome sequence. So I'm going to click on Finish, and then I'm going to click plus, and then we are going to set a time delay. So we are going to wait a certain day of the week, and we are going to choose Tuesday, for example. And then we are going to add another email. And again, I'm going to duplicate this email. I'm going to add the subject line for email number 2, like that. And then I'm going to edit the email and paste the contents like that. And again, I'm just going to fix the spacing a little bit. The beauty of this approach is that not only do you stay top of mind with your subscribers, you're also promoting your products or your services on a regular basis, so you don't have to feel icky, because the way the sequence is structured is that you're providing value and then you're just pointing to your services or your products or any type of resource that you have on your website. And then I'm going to click on finish, and then I would repeat this until I'm done building out my sequence. So I would add a time delay and then an email, a time delay and then an email. And for the time delay, I would always set it to a certain day of the week and then select the same day when you want the newsletter to go out. So let's say it's Tuesday. And then I would add another email. Now, the important thing is, let's say that you are only able to build 3 months worth of emails and you want to set up a 6-month sequence, or you can only write 4 emails at the moment, but you want to keep adding to the sequence. What I would do in that case is I would add another email. And again, I'm just going to quickly add this one. And then after the very last email that you currently have, I would add a time delay to wait 99 days. And this will basically ensure that you have plenty of time to come back and add more emails to the sequence. But this way, they are staying in the workflow. They're not being removed from the workflow, because as soon as they hit this last email, there's an exit sign to where they will complete that workflow. You can also remove the exit step. So basically, this will also keep them on hold so that they don't complete the workflow. I like to do this because eventually I do want them to exit this and maybe add them to another sequence or something like that. Maybe I'm promoting one product in this sequence and maybe I want to add them once they're done with this. Maybe I want to add them to a sequence for a different product or a different service or something like that. So I like to keep this in here, but you can also just omit this big time delay after the last email. And you can just remove the exit step, and then they will remain in the workflow forever, indefinitely, until you add more emails. So you can add a time delay to wait for a certain time of day, for example, Tuesday, and then just leave this next step blank until you are able to add more emails to the sequence. The reason why I like doing it the other way is because it gives me a time frame, so they're still in there. This way, it's more pressure on me to create content because I know I have to come back and set up the more emails. Up to you, but this is how you can do it in Flodesk. And once you're done with that, all you have to do is click publish now, and then as soon as somebody enters the segment, they will be added to that workflow. So for example, you could set up a welcome sequence. I'm just briefly going to edit this to show you. So for example, at the end of the welcome sequence, you can add an action to add subscriber to the segment Evergreen newsletter. And then as soon as they are done with the welcome sequence and they're added to the segment Evergreen newsletter, they will be added to that sequence, to that Evergreen workflow, and they will continue receiving your emails. I hope that this makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And if you want the email template that I've used in this tutorial, be sure to click the link down below and I'll send it your way. And if you like this type of content, please subscribe to my channel and I'll see you in the next one.